1300 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Hassan Gilani. First, the headlines. President has expressed satisfaction on government's performance, citing reduced inflation and ensuring economic activity even during coronavirus pandemic. 553 new coronavirus cases and 8 new deaths were reported in the country during the last 24 hours. U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation has appreciated Pakistan's efforts for restoration of peace and reconciliation in Afghanistan. 15 Palestinians were injured when Israeli forces opened fire shots on demonstrators in West Bank. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Arif Alvi has expressed satisfaction on the government's performance, citing the reduced inflation and ensuring economic activity even despite the coronavirus pandemic. In an interview with a private TV channel, he said there is no threat to government or democracy. The president expressed the confidence that the present government will complete its term like the previous two regimes. To a question, he said that all the institutions in the country are against corruption and appreciated the judiciary for their efforts against corruption. To another question, he however said that there should be an across-the-board accountability. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Shibli Farah says Nawaz Sharif is still to answer two questions as to how he made assets and how he transferred money abroad. In a tweet, he said Nawaz Sharif's ideology changes like weather. The minister said Nawaz Sharif becomes a revolutionary while being out of power, whereas in power he is the biggest dictator. He said Nawaz Sharif should not take revenge from Pakistan for being out of power. Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Petroleum, Nadeem Babar, has said that the government is working on long-term policy to bring reforms in petroleum sector. Talking to BTV, he said that reduced regulatory role of the government in oil companies is the main feature of the policy, which aims to create a competitive environment and provide incentives to the consumers. To a question, he said that the new policy will replace the decades-old regulations and revamping of oil marketing companies is also under consideration. 553 new cases of coronavirus surfaced in the country after tests of 35,071 people were conducted over the last 24 hours. According to the latest statistics, the pandemic claims lives of 8 more people during the last 24 hours. 298,593 patients have so far recovered from the disease. There are now 8,884 active cases in the country. The number of coronavirus cases across the world has surpassed 34.8 million, while the pandemic has claimed more than 1 million lives so far. The US is the worst hit country with over 7.5 million infection cases and nearly 213,500 deaths. More than 25.8 million patients stand recovered. Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Zafar Mahmood Abbasi paid a farewell call on Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee General Nadeem Raza in Rawalpindi today. According to ISPR, the Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee thanked the Naval Chief for his services to the nation during a long and illustrious career. U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation Zalmay Khalilzad has appreciated Pakistan's efforts for restoration of peace and reconciliation in Afghanistan. In an interview with National Public Radio, he said Pakistan has been helpful in the efforts for peace in Afghanistan during the last 2 years. Zalmay Khalilzad said Pakistan has encouraged the Afghan Taliban to enter into negotiations with Afghan government and reduce violence. He said Pakistan has been helpful in interaction with Afghan leaders. In Afghanistan, 7 Taliban have been killed in 2 separate incidents of accidental explosions in Kandahar province. 15 Palestinians were injured when Israeli forces opened fire shots on demonstrators in different parts of West Bank. The incident occurred during weekly protests that the Palestinians organize against the expansion of Israeli settlement plan. In the National T20 Cup, two matches will be played in Bulletin today. In the first match, Northern Punjab will take on Central Punjab at 1500 hours, while the second match, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa will face Southern Punjab at 1930 hours. And this is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.